want to know more about Carla Morrison, the woman behind the music.
For me, it's important to talk about mental health in my music, in my concerts, and my interviews, and wherever I can. También en México me comparaban mucho, me hacían sentir como que, yeah, you're overweight, you have tattoos, you're very dramatic with your music. Todo el tiempo estaban criticándome. Mi husband está obsesionado con el café, right? Every time he makes me coffee, he's like, ¿quieres un café largo o Chiquis Rivera?
Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Chiquis and Chill podcast. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. I really just want to hop into today's episode because we have an incredible guest. She's someone I absolutely adore and admire, and I can't wait for you guys to get to know the woman behind the artist. This is Chiquis and Chill. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am so excited. I am so excited. You have no idea. We have the one and the only Carla Morrison. Oh my goodness, Carla, ¿cómo andas? How are you? I feel like I need drums and some type of like freaking music for you, I swear.
Hey, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. So happy to see you.
Oh, me
You're
too.
glowing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Part of it for sure is because I'm just excited. I'm excited to have you on. I've told you when we message how much I admire you, how much I love your music. I have to just say it because it's like an honor to me. But you sent me a note. She sent me like this care package, you guys. And I'm so grateful. It blew me away because this is Carla Morrison, okay? So she sends me, she's like, hey, give me your address. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I don't know. I thought she was going to send me an invitation. No sé, la verdad no sabía que, I didn't even expect anything. But she sends me this package. She's like, I had told her I wasn't feeling too well and we were kind of going through it. And me mandó, like, it was so beautiful. These beautiful, like, bath bombs and body lotions so I could just relax. And the most wonderful note, and I have to tell you, Carla, I have the note. I have a little spiritual sanctuary in my bathroom, and I have the note right there. I have it right what you wrote. Te lo juro, güey. Te lo juro. No manches. She's gonna be like, oh no, she's a little weird. I'm just gonna No, I have it there because it inspired me because I admire you so much. I admire you so much. Of course, as a woman in music, your voice, eso ni se diga, you're great. So for you to tell me, like, one little line that she said, you guys, was, she said, you were born to do this. It was like, wow. It hit me, and you don't know how much I needed it during that time. So anyways, enough about me. I want to know about you, girl.
Thank you.
Anywho, we're going to talk about music, of course, because I'm sure people, but I, as just a woman, as a fan, I want to know more about Carla, the woman behind the music, if that's okay with you.
Yes, of course.
Bueno, do you have any siblings?
I have 3 siblings. Yo soy la tercera de 4. So I have an older sister. She's 42. Ella vive en Inglaterra. She got married
nice.
I don't know, like 16 years ago, and she moved. And then my older brother, él tiene 41, and he lives in Arizona. And then it's me, and then my younger brother, he lives in Mexico, and he's 30, I think, or he's about to turn 30. So yeah, somos 4. Soy el sandwich.
El sandwich, And are you guys pretty close, despite que, you guys kind of live far away? Are you guys pretty close?
I feel like we are. It's just that como que mis dos hermanos grandes tienen a sus kids. So it's hard sometimes to keep in touch because they're trying to do everything at once. Y los horarios. So we're as close as we can be.
Yeah. So now that we're on this topic of family, I hear that your dad was adopted, correct?
Yes, my dad was adopted when he was, I think, around 10 or 11. Le dijo a mi abuelita en Durango, I'm going to go and explore the world. And obviously, my abuelita was like, okay, whatever. And then he did. He left. Se fue de Durango. And he crossed the border because back then, no había, en realidad, borders. So he just crossed the border. He was living in San Diego. And this American guy that was actually the son of an English woman that moved from Liverpool, England to San Diego. She had William, my abuelito. And William adopted my dad because they met at work. And my dad was like, I'm over it. I'm going back home after 3 months. Y mi abuelito was like, no, let me adopt you. I could totally give you a better life. Es mejor, don't go back to Mexico. Y my dad just like phoned my abuelita and she was like, okay, sure. So that's why I'm Morrison. Si no, yo fuera Viera. Yo fuera Carla Viera.
Oh, no más.
Yeah. That's why I got papers.
Oh, nice. Well, thank goodness. Thank goodness for him. And how does that, did that change anything like when you found that out? Like, how did that make you feel? Did it change like the dynamic of how you saw family?
Honestly, it didn't change because to me it was very normal. It was a story that everybody would like, that everybody knew. I think what it really made me think, y siempre hasta el día de hoy pienso como, mi abuelito was such a like kind soul. Like he went ahead because he at that time he was single. He'd never married. He actually passed around like 45 years old because he had un tumor le salió.
So
Y falleció. Yeah, super young. So he never married. His family was my dad, and he adopted my dad. So to me, it was more like, wow, this like man was so kind and had such a kind heart that just like adopted my dad and had, you know, he was so proud of my dad, lo creció, lo cuidó. And it just really made me feel like, wow, that's such a beautiful story. Que mi abuelito was like such a kind-hearted person, you know? And it's crazy because I wasn't born when he was alive, but I know that he really wanted a third nieto. And so I never met him, but when I was 7, I would have this recurring dream all the time that this guy in my dreams wanted to play with me. And I was like, who is this guy? Y siempre yo decía, no, I don't want to. And then one day my mom got some pictures out and I saw this guy and I'm like, who is this guy? Y mi mamá me dice, es tu abuelito, mija, él es tu abuelito William, el señor que adoptó a tu papá. Y le dije, every time, like, I've had this dream for years where this guy wants to play with me, and it's this guy. And she was like, it's tu abuelito. He really, really wanted me to have a third baby, but he passed before I was pregnant. So it's him. So if he comes back to your dream, it's tu abuelito. And I never had that dream again.
Shut
never.
up.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You know what? It's probably, he's like, I just want, you know, you to know who I am. And
yes.
Well,
yes,
oh my God,
so
thank
cute.
God for William. Thank God for him. Porque es un ángel, la verdad. Anyone that does that is just like, that's beautiful. I didn't know that at all. I had heard, I was like, wait, I'm going to ask this question. And wow, that's awesome. That's what a beautiful story, la verdad. Yeah, now that we're talking about family, you know, and we're women in the industry, have you ever felt pressure with having children? Like, and we're Latin, that's another thing too, that it's kind of like, you know, at a certain age and blah, 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 and X, Y, and Z.
I don't think I've ever felt pressured by society or by family. I think I felt more pressure just by my clock, my internal clock. I'm like, fuck, como que, man, it's getting late, and like I'm turning 37 this year, and I'm like, si tuviera 10 años más, like I wouldn't even think about it. But right now I'm like, I don't know. So I have felt pressured, but by myself, como solita, because I honestly, like, I'm very maternal, and yo veo mi música, mi proyecto de música, like a baby. And I feel like it's like a full-time job. So I think, okay, si tengo un bebé, I want to be a mom that's going to be there, that's going to be present, you know? So I feel like I want to do it, but I don't know when. And so I'm looking into the idea of like doing this whole IVF thing, pero I'm still thinking about it because I'm not dying to be a mom, but I love kids. Entonces, it's something that I'm allowing myself to think about it, to see my options and to think about it and not to feel pressured by society or any kind of formula. Porque también de chiquita, when I would play with my vecinas and, you know, we're playing with the Barbies y te dicen, oh, yo tengo un montón de bebitos y yo me voy a casar a los 13 y a los 18. And I remember thinking, girl, you want to get married? Like, don't you want to have a career first? And I'm like 10 years old, right? And I'm thinking, que loca. Like, I wasn't thinking about babies then. So that doesn't mean I don't want to be a mom, pero no sé, como que I don't know, because I also love babies. I love the idea of learning more from life, como con una familia.
Yeah, that we're on the same boat. I love children. I get along with them. They come to me, you know, and I love kids very much, but I'm kind of in a way married, and to my career right now and having musical babies, like you said, you know? So it's like sometimes I do feel like, shoot, should I fucking have a kid just because? But I'm like, wait, it's a huge responsibility. You know what I mean? It's something that, and like you said, I want to be a mother that's present. And right now I'm living my life. You know what I mean? But it's that eternal clock that it's kind of like, I have to decide. I told myself I'm giving myself till October of this year to say, am I going through with IVF and I'm going full force? Or am I just going to accept the fact that I might not be able to have kids? Because in my situation, I have endometriosis. I've had cysts in my ovaries.
Ow.
I've gotten them removed. Haven't been on birth control for 2 years. I haven't gotten pregnant, you know, and I've been with my partner for over 2 years and it just hasn't happened. I'm like, okay, well, lo que Dios quiera, a este punto, you know, but now we do have this of the IVF, but then I worry about putting all that stuff in my body. So I'm just like, ando así como I'm just praying about it. I'm giving myself to October. Y a ver qué pasa.
No, I get you. But I totally see you being an awesome mom.
Thank you.
Que serías
I
como
think
una
so.
mamá bien fun.
I think so too. I'd be crazy, girl. Yo siento como que se me va a parar el mundo. You know what I mean? Like, there's a part of me that I'm like, I'd be such a cool ass mom that I just want to see what that would be. You know what I mean? What would a little Chiquis look like? Oh, I'm gonna send him to Tia Carla's house to babysit. Oh my goodness! And you've been married for how long now?
I've been married for 2 years, pero en realidad we've been together for 11. Entonces, o sea, es como desde quién sabe cuándo, And he's my producer, he's my arranger. Él me ayuda con todo lo de la música. He's the band leader. O sea, él me ayuda con todo lo que es la música. We songwrite together. He produces my stuff. He arranges everything live.
That's a blessing, you know, that you guys get to travel together and everything. Qué bendición.
Yeah, honestly, no sé qué hubiera hecho, man. Like, it's hard. It's hard because you can be so tired. You can be... Y lo que me gusta mucho de mi hubby es que él es un hombre que sabe exactamente quién es. So he doesn't, él no se apantalla con like my success or my fame or like he will tell me the things that I need to know and he won't like hold back. Like es un vato muy como like he's really real, you know? So if I'm like fucking up or if I'm like whatever I'm doing wrong, he's like, babe, ¿qué está pasando? Like, you know? Pero a la vez, he's not that kind of person that'll get like jealous, nada. He's like, si me piden una foto, he's like, yo te la tomo. He gets all the angles. Like, es bien bueno. Es bien bueno.
Awesome.
So that's really cool. And I feel like that has really helped como que duremos tanto porque he's just so selfless. Y a la vez me cuida un montón, me quiere mucho. He accepts me the way I am. Entonces, y todo lo que viene con el paquete de estar conmigo. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Qué bueno. That's great because it does take a very strong, secure man to be with a woman like yourself. You're on stage. You have to give yourself to people. You know what I mean? A lot, and for them to understand that, and that's awesome. That's great that you guys have a beautiful relationship. Another thing that I love about you, I love a lot of things about you, but one of the things that I think is awesome, especially in the position that you are in, that you're very open about mental health, and that's something that I'm a huge advocate of because we're Latin, and that's something that, at least in my household, was therapy is something's wrong with you, or no, you can't be sad, that's for the weak. And it's stuff that just happens. And I think that it's wonderful that you are so open and talk about that because I know you've had your struggles as well, no?
Yeah, no, I think that for me, it's important to talk about mental health in my music, in my concerts, and my interviews, and wherever I can. Porque in Mexico, like you said, I feel like it's getting better, but it's a very closed-minded kind of view of things. And when I even looked for therapy, mi mamá me dijo como, mija, tú no estás loca. Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, no, ma, pero si no voy, me voy a volver loca. Because I went, cuando estaba chiquita, when I was 5 years old, I had tuve un abuso sexual de mi primito. So, like, my mom and my dad kind of adopted, but like lo trajeron a la casa un primo porque una tía no tenía como money to like raise him. So my dad was like, we'll take him, don't worry. y la estaban ayudando. And then out of nowhere, this happens. But I understood this happened to me when I was like 9. It just like dawned on me. Como que
Came
no me
back.
acordaba
Mm-hmm.
que mi primito pues abusó de mí. So I was like, wait. So entonces me empezaron a dar muchos ataques de ansiedad, which is something that I had no idea was happening at that time, but I knew I wasn't feeling good. I felt like sick. I was like, I can hear voices. I can feel my heart pounding. I can hear my thoughts, like what's going on. Entonces, por eso, that's why I was like, I need to go to therapy. Yeah. And so at that moment, obviously, it was really hard. It took me years to really work through it and to feel safe. And I still kind of, you know, work through it todavía, but I understood that I'm a sensitive person, not because of that, but I'm just sensitive. And so it kind of impacted me even more. So anxiety has always been there in my life. So I've always have to be very, very careful with what I put in my body mentally and like physically. Y también hace poquito, what was it, like a year and a half ago, I did a treatment here in LA at the ketamines clinic. Son ketamine infusions. And it's like a psychedelic therapy. It's crazy, but it's changed my life. Like, it changed my life. I was like, okay, no puedo hacerlo porque I'm not depressed. I'm just a very nervous person. And then obviously they interview you. Why are you looking for this? And I was just like, I'm looking for it because I need help. And I'm always having these like awful thoughts, like I'm going to die, like my husband's going to die, like algo va a pasar, like it's just crazy. Yeah. And I was like, but I'm not depressed. And then they were like, well, girl, you know, depression and anxiety are kind of like cousins. So you might be depressed and you don't know it, but you are a candidate, blah, blah, blah. So I went for 6 sessions for 3 weeks, 2 sessions a week. And it's crazy, girl, but it's amazing. Like, I totally recommend it. There is a before and after in my life ever since this treatment. Like, it's crazy because I feel like it's a 3-thing effect. Like, the first effect obviously is you go there and you have a trip, but it's not like, it's in a clinic. I nurses, I gente cuidándote all the time. So if you like go shit, like batshit crazy, which you're not, but if like you get freaked out, hay alguien ahí. Yeah. Y te calman y te ayudan. Pero the trip that you have, you see all these things that are so deep in your soul that, or like in your mind, that they just come up and you're like, and you see them and you're like, oh, so this is what I'm dealing with, you know? And then the other thing is that at the end of the day, it's medication. So te va a hacer bien. It's going to make you feel better. And then the third thing is that the effect lasts with you for months. So even in the day by day, you keep realizing things. Porque it's like kind of like it slows you down so much so that all these weird patterns that we have, you just start to see them in a whole different way. So the first 6 sessions, they have to be 6 sessions if they're anxiety or depression, if you're going for those como reasons. But after that, you go for boosters, which is like 2. Any like every 6 months, every year. I've been going every 6 months. So literally in April, I went for my 2 boosters, and I always feel way better. Like, de verdad, it changes your life. It really helped me like deal with my dad's passing, with a lot of trauma that I had, and a lot of things in my, like, yo soy como un perrito chihuahueño. Like, I'm so fucking nervous inside. Like, I can have my resting bitch face, pero dentro de mí, I'm like, I'm so scared, you know. I'm like, I'm like a chihuahuita, and the ketamine infusions really, really helped me. Like, they changed my life.
I am definitely going to hit you up about that because I believe a lot in psychedelics, and I've been wanting to do like what you did, go to a clinic, and I have a lot of people that I would like to take that have addictions, that suffer from deep depression. And I want to try it. You know what I mean? For sure. I believe in it so much. I believe in it so much. Oh, girl,
de verdad. Honestly, it changed my life. Like, I always recommend it. It's pricey, but honestly, it's a great investment. And there's people that speak Spanish there, and they're just so nice. So it's awesome. Honestly, yo vi tantas cosas in these trips that I had never thought about that I was like, that's still there? Wow.
No
okay.
Way. Like stuff that is really deeply rooted.
Yes. Yes.
We're soul sisters, Carla. I don't care. Girl. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know this. This is awesome. No manches.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? Algo que platiqué con mi therapist was that she told me, like, because I also take CBD, and durante el día I'll take CBD for during the day or at night to sleep. And I was starting to feel very como guilty. And then my therapist was like, girl, when you wake up, what do? And I'm like, well, I have coffee. For what? To get going. And she's like, CBD is the same. Like, we do things to feel better. You're like, oh, I'm feeling a little sad. I'm going to have a little cheesecake. Or, oh, I'm feeling like this. I'm going to have a chamomile tea. He said, CBD es lo mismo. Like, really? Like, you don't have to see it as a drug porque es más malo andar alcoholizado. Es más malo fumarte un cigarro, tomarte una coca. Instead of just doing something, it's an herb and you're taking it because you want to feel better. Y porque te tienes que sentir culpable de querer sentirte mejor,
Did you move to Paris for your mental health, or how long were you in Paris?
I was in Paris for almost 3 years. We moved there because my husband, at the time, he had told me, like, oh, I've always had como my dream of, like, studying abroad and going to Paris. And I remember for the longest time, I was like, Paris para qué? No, like, it's so far. And then when I was going through my depression, porque I was burned out, girl. Like, I was working, like, straight up every single day for, like, years. Like, yo creo que los primeros 7-8 years of my career, I was just fucking working. Like, I had no friends. I had no hobbies. I had nothing. Like, I was just working. And then, obviously, mi body todo, like, I just started to feel very como just sad. And I remember I started, like, hearing voices in my head saying, like, maybe it would be better if you died. Maybe it would be better if you weren't alive. Like, I don't think anybody would care. Like, cosas que nunca, like, that I would never think. And I remember I was like, wait, what? Like, what is this? And then I remember at shows, like, before going on stage, I was just not feeling it for months and months. Entonces, le dije a mi husband, le dije, you know what? Remember you told me you wanted to move to Paris? He was like, yeah. I was like, let's do it. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, let's put everything in a storage y vámonos a la fregada. Like, es lo mismo aquí en China. Vámonos. And he was like, okay, espérame, mi amor, espérame. Like, let's think about it. Damn. And I'm like, vámonos. So we started to do the visa process and we applied as students, honestly. Like, no aplicamos como, like normal people do. And I'm saying this because a lot of people think that I just went and I had, like, hookups because what I do for a living. Pero no, like, we just applied as students. We moved and we applied at a conservatory in the jazz. And we both went to school for jazz and for French. Y estábamos de estudiantes por 3 años allá. Like, that was it. And we put everything on a storage. We just took our perritos, our 2 guitars, our 2 laptops, y vámonos.
That's ballsy,
and we
dude.
left.
I love that.
It was awesome because siento que when I was over there, I really got to know myself because, a lot of people didn't know me. I could fall on my face and nobody was gonna care. Y como que nadie me pedía fotos. A veces me pasaba, pero muy poquito. The first year, I was able to keep it a secret. Like, I told no one what I used to do for a living or lo que sea. And it was great. Like, I learned a new language. I learned how to, like, I knew who I was. I learned how to cook. Sabía cómo andar en el metro. I was just myself again. And and I was just Carla, I feel like in Mexico, I was always Carla Morrison all the time. Everywhere I went, era como, Carla Morrison. And I was never myself. So when I was in Paris, I was like, this is me. I remember the first 2 weeks, I would cry so much porque yo decía, man, I was really in a dark space and I had no idea. And right now, so far away from that, I can see so clear what was wrong. It was hard, like de verdad, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I was like, what the fuck am I doing in Paris? Like
the adjustment.
Like, I worked so hard for my career and now I'm here. Like, what is next? Pero dije, you know what? It will make sense. It will make sense. Don't worry. Just go. And then we were there for 3 years and my mental health, man, like, me ayudó mucho. Pero en ese momento, to me, it was more like, I need to get out. I need to know who I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know if it was a crisis, pero it was definitely burnout.
Oh, for sure. I know what that feels like. And I think that was what saved you, and probably you came back stronger and better in so many ways. That's why when I had my burnout in 2018, I almost hated going on stage. And if I went on stage, I had to be drunk. And it's something where it's like, I didn't want to use alcohol as a way of numbing. And that's what I was doing. And it was just so much pressure, I think, during that time. And yeah, I totally get it. That's why I learned to find the balance. Now I'm like, you guys can't overwork me, because if you do, I'm gonna just push and I'm gonna leave far away, and you're not gonna be able to find me. Like, I need to have time to do what I love to do, to be me, to be Janae. Chiquis can wait a little bit, because in order to give Chiquis my best, I have to take care of Janae, you know? So I totally get that. Is that when you took your break from social media during that time when you were in Paris?
Yes. And the social media fue casi como 2 años. Yeah, I was ready because I was like, you know what happened too was that I was like, you know what? I don't want to be seeing everybody putting out singles and me feeling like FOMO, you know, like, oh no, I'm not doing it.
I know what you mean.
Todo mundo. And I also felt like, you know, the fans would write to me and be like, Carla, where are you? And I was like, you know what? No, I need to like just be with myself. I need to become my best friend, because honestly, if I would meet me, I don't know if I would hang out with me. So like, I really need to cut all the bullshit out y estar conmigo. And at first, obviously, it was hard. Pero luego fue como un release. Like, I was like, this is work and this is not work. And I actually did, like, I created a little como Instagram personal para mí, para mi familia. Pero también lo usaba muy poquito, porque lo que quería era estar fuera. Like, I wanted to just really experience life. And that's also when I went keto, because I was like, I want to heal myself. I want to heal my body. I want to see what happens. And I lost like freaking 40 pounds, and everything changed. Like, I feel like it was a detox from like my old life. That's why I called my album Renacimiento, because I felt like I was coming back to life in my own terms. And it just felt so liberating. Como que I have my life in my hands, and, you know, fuck you all that always doubted of me o que me hicieron sentir mal. Porque también en México me comparaban mucho. Me hacían sentir como que, yeah, you're overweight, you have tattoos, you're very dramatic with your music, or no sé, todo el tiempo estaban criticándome. It was hard. Y honestly, at some point, I was like, man, I don't even matter. Like, era un bullying, girl, era un bullying horrible. Like, mucha gente no sabe, pero en México, girl, I did como una campaña de Levi's que era como de tallas más grandes. And I was actually using like a normal talla. I was, I think, like a 10 or a 12, I don't remember. And people were like, eres una gorda, una obesa, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're promoting unhealthy standards. Y luego aquí, la gente was like, at shows or anything, cuando veían esa como promotion, they'd be like, Carla is thick, she's awesome, she's beautiful. Y yo decía, qué fuerte la diferencia. Honestly, it destroyed me. Like, it didn't destroy me, but it really, like, it made me feel very insecure, and it was really hard for me. So I was just like, I need to get back to myself and know who I am and see myself in the mirror and know why I'm doing this and why I just sacrificed so much of my life and my soul and my time and everything para esta mierda. Like, why am I doing this, you know?
Yeah.
So I really had to be very como cerrar todo, y dije, cerrar social media, cambiar de comer, cambiar de scenery, cambiar de todo. Like, this is for me, because my life is at stake. Y ya estuvo.
Wow. That's admirable that you can share that you did that. I thought I took 3 months off of social media, but 2 years, that's awesome. You know, because look, social media is great. I mean, obviously, because you can connect and it's a beautiful way, pero también es como si se un cuchillo de doble filo. Like, you get good people and great people that love you, and then you get people that are mean. And it just, do you limit now your time on social media or no? Or like, are you on? Yes. Okay. I think it's necessary, right? I think it's important. I've done it and it helps me. Sometimes I just take 3 days off and I'm like, I don't want to even look at it, you know, because it's a job in itself as well. How do you feel about the industry now? You think that it's gotten a little bit better, or has Carla gotten better at, like, you know, zoning it out and pushing all that negativity out?
I have a feeling that's both. I feel like como que I feel way secure, just more centered, more focused. I know what I want. I know what affects me. I know what doesn't affect me. But at the same time, I feel like como sisterhood in la industry se ha puesto como muy bonito. Like, girls helping each other out. Siento que hay más apertura, more conversation about what we're missing. there's still a lot of work to do, but I do feel like it's both. Y me siento más tranquila. También siento que ya me gané mi lugar. Like, y no porque me lo tendría que ganar, but it does feel different. Like this time around at Vive Latino, every time I would go to Vive Latino, I was just like, oh, it was so stressful. And this time it felt like summer camp. Like, yay! Like I had a great time. And I feel like it was because I've worked so much on myself. I've gotten to meet so much more people. Todos hemos crecido, you know? We're all kind of older. We don't care that much about certain things. So it just feels like a way better vibe. So that was really nice. Pero creo que son las dos partes. Pero sí, ser mujer en esta industria is always really hard. And also as mexicanas, you know, as Latinas, it's really hard. Porque la gente es bien difícil. And there's so many women that are also very machistas y no saben. And they're very hard on us, you know? And that's something that we need to talk about, you know, more también. Las mujeres son muy machistas y no se dan cuenta.
Well, that's where I met you for the first time when we did the interview for Billboard. And we were talking about women in industry, remember? And this is something that thank goodness, there are a lot of women now in power, you know, in you know, on the digital platforms and stuff. But sometimes they're even harder on us. I don't know why. Yeah. Como que you are in this position and you're representing women, and instead of trying to help us come up, I feel like they've made it not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. Y no voy a decir nombres, pero ahí como que digo, nos podemos ayudar más entre nosotras, which is for me why it's so important, especially in my genre, to be like, hey, let me do more with other women. Even if they're bigger than me or not, it doesn't matter. It's let's do things together. Like, I don't want to just talk about it. It's like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's walk the talk sort of thing.
And it's a little disappointing, pero dices, bueno, I do understand as well that a lot of women don't understand this because that's all they know. That's all they've known all their lives.
Yes.
Entonces como que no cachan, and then suddenly it becomes clear. So I feel like we've progressed, but there's still a lot of work to do for sure.
One thing that I find very interesting is that you started your career in English and then transitioned to Spanish, correct?
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Because I'm like, damn, girl, that's tight. How did that happen? Like, talk to me.
Mira, fíjate, I was in Arizona and I was trying to make music and I've never had a guitar or piano porque en Tecate, honestly, like it at that time, it was such a small town. There were no music classes. Entonces, cuando yo me mudé a Arizona, a Phoenix, I was like, I want to try and learn. And so I met these people, these friends, Nick and Nikki, and we started a band. And I was just kind of like writing in English and like, it was kind of like an alternative band. And I remember that I felt like I could connect, but I was like, man, I feel like really not going to make any difference. Como que siento que en español hay mucho más poesía, mucho más, there's just more ways of connecting and making songs. And so I remember when I quit the band and I left, everybody was like, why are you doing this? Like, everybody has the American dream. Everybody wants to make it in English o hacer algo en Estados Unidos. Like, you're earning dollars right now, because at the time I was working at Macy's. And I was like, they were like, girl, ¿cómo le vas a hacer en Mexico? And I was like, I don't care. I just want to go. I just want to see what happens. And as soon as I recorded a little EP, I put it out and I never worked again because I was getting calls like, oh, ven a tocar a Querétaro, ven a tocar a Monterrey. And I was doing all these shows. And then I got a stink on a TV series called Soy Tu Fan. And it exploded. And like, I started to get like, you know, my career started in Espanol. So it was an interesting decision because a lot of people were like, why are you going to Mexico? Vas a ganar en pesos. It's going to be harder. And I was like, I just don't connect with English at the time. Like right now, I am kind of curious. But at the time, I was like, I don't get it. And so it was an interesting time. But yeah, ni me acordaba. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome though. That's great that you were like, I feel it more. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love music in English, obviously. Pero siento que a veces se sienten más las canciones en español. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I just think it's such a beautiful language. Obviously, I'm Mexican, whatever. But I don't know. There's certain words that are just, even the word stupid, estúpida, like sounds even more passionate, girl. Like everything in Spanish is passionate. But I did hear that you were singing a song in English in one of your shows. You do that, right? Was it Weirdo or am I tripping?
No, it was it Creep.
Creep,
the radio film. Yes.
Yes, I know. It's like, I love that song, dude. I was like, oh my God, that's so badass. I have to go to your concert. I have to. I want to ask you a bunch of questions.
Okay.
If you don't mind, little, little questions just to get to know you a little more.
All
right. So what's your favorite holiday?
I think right now it's Thanksgiving because it reminds me a lot of my dad. Porque mi papá, he would get really happy with like, oh, el pavito, mijita, like, And so every time Thanksgiving comes around, I feel like, oh, this is my favorite one just because of my dad. It reminds me of him a lot.
It's my favorite. I swear.
No!
Te lo juro. My favorite holiday. Everyone's like, that's so boring. And I'm like, well, you're thankful and you get to eat. And like, I love it. I was like, I'm just grateful and I get to eat. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Okay. Yes. All right. So, second question. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color? Oh,
mine changes
right
all
now?
the time. Mm-hmm. I love it that you're like right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Es que sí, it changes all the time. I feel like the color el color hueso, el color como the sculpture color. You know, when you go to the museum and the sculptures have a color that it's like como blanco, creamish.
Like, creamish? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
that one.
I'm not going to say. We have too much in common. La verdad, you're going to think I'm lying at this point. People that listen to my podcast know I'm not lying. That's my color right now. I swear to you. Anyways.
Oh my God.
Okay, so do you like to sleep with socks on or socks off?
Ooh, it depends. I think it depends. But lately, socks off porque como que the weather's just changing.
I know,
so
right?
I don't know. Yeah,
I have to have my socks off. Anyways, okay. ¿Te gusta mandar o que te manden?
It depends too.
I know, girl. Same here. Usually I'm like, yeah, honestly, I think I have to be balanced on that one because it's like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, mándame en la cama, pero la casa yo mando. ¿Me entiendes?
Same.
Okay, I knew it. Okay, I was like, I'm going to say it for her. Okay, now, okay, do you have a favorite number?
Oh, favorite number? I really never think about numbers, but lately, now that you're asking, hace poquito, I had a crazy experience with a medium.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to speak with family members on the other side. It was very interesting. Ooh. And ever since that moment, I have those numbers that is como 11, 333, 222. So I don't have an actual number, but I think 1111 is my favorite number. Como que me recuerda que mis family members are around and they're with me and they're taking care of me, like my angels, I guess.
You're very divinely connected right now. If you're seeing all those numbers, every time I see 1111, 2233, I'm like, thank you, God. You're talking to me, my angels. That means that our angels are with us. That's me.
Yes.
Oh my God. We're soul sisters, girl. Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna cry, you guys. You guys have no idea. I'm so fanning like right now. I don't care what you guys think. So anyways, okay. All right. Another question. What side of the bed do you sleep on? On the left or the right?
On the left.
Me too.
Oh my God.
I swear to you. Even in the hotel rooms, I'm like, I have to be on the left. Yes. I have to be on the left. Siempre.
Yes. Siempre.
No, I cannot right now.
I go into the hotel room and I'm like, okay, up, left. Here I go.
All the time. Oh my God. Now, think cake, cookies, ice cream. Put them in order by your favorite to least.
Yo creo que cake, ice cream, and then cookies.
Okay. I don't know. I was like, I just want to ask her something fun, you know? Okay. Now, this one, it's a little heavier. Thinking, obviously, Dios no quiera, God forbid. If you had to choose between your hearing or your eyesight, which one would you choose?
Oh, Dios mío.
I know. It's God forbid. But it's like, I'm curious to know this.
I would say, oh, Dios mío. Obviamente, Diosito, please never.
Please, God, never, Lord. Please, never.
But I would keep my hearing.
Your hearing? Okay.
Yeah, because from my hearing, I could probably have kind of both. But from my eyesight, no más podría ver, pero no podría, I wouldn't be able to ever, listen. So, pero siento que if you listen, I've heard of stories of people that have lost como their eyesight, pero they get around because they listen and so they can kind of like get themselves around.
and they
so
can imagine.
I feel like my hearing. Yes, yes.
I know that's a tough one, but
Dios
it's
mío.
something. I know, no. Dios, estás protegida, cancelado, nomás pregunto porque it's a profound. I was watching this thing on Netflix and I was thinking, oh my God, it made me really appreciate. Oh my God, thank you for my 5 senses. Thank you for my 6th sense. Like, I'm very grateful because you just never know. And it happened to someone así de la nada. And I was like, and it got me thinking. And I'm like, they're heavy conversations that it's just like, God, little things like that just to be grateful for. Like, sometimes we're so stuck in, this is happening in our life, but it could always be worse. You know what I mean? So anyways, that's that. And let's just, just for the sake of it, because it was a heavy one, let's finish off with one that's a little bit, nicer.
I will.
Okay, yeah. What's your favorite song right now?
Oh, my favorite song? Right now, right now, Daniel Caesar has a new album. His song I think it's called Cool, is my favorite song right now.
Ooh,
Está bien bonita.
I'm going to get that right now. Carla, you're great.
I need to tell you a little story.
Yes, of course.
I don't know if it's because, you como que I talk about you or something, but mi husband está obsesionado con el café, right? And he loves café. He makes café. He has all of these different machines that make coffee, but he loves the espressos, los chiquitos.
Yes.
So every time he makes me coffee, he's like, "¿Cuál quieres un café largo o Chiquis Rivera?"
Shut up. Un chiquis.
Un Chiquis Rivera, which is an espresso. Yeah. And I told her, oh my God, I'm going to tell her this. Oh. So it's really cute. It's really cute.
She talks about me, guys. She talks about me. Oh, that's so awesome. Me lo saludas. Oh,
yes, I will.
So
I will. So, cuando me dice, you want a big one or a Chiquis Rivera? I'm like, oh, Chiquis Rivera.
Oh my God, I love it. Thank you. That made me so happy. Honestly, I feel so special right now, girl. Share our social media and whatever you want to share, anything that you want to share with my listeners. Go ahead.
Well, on my Instagram, Carla Morrison, on Spotify, on YouTube, it's the same. And yeah, también, I think if you go to my website, which is carlamorrison.com, you can find resources to call in your own country, ayuda para mental health. So there's like a place, a little part where it says ansiedad, and you click on it, and then there's like all these phone numbers you can call for free to get help. If you're feeling like anxious or depressed, hay teléfonos para all Latin America, I think France, UK, US. So if you need any help, you can get that on my website, carlamorrison.com.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You gave me an idea. I'm going to copy you because I think that's great. Honestly, some people don't even know where to start. So you guys heard it. Yeah. Follow her, go on her website. And please, what is the date of your Hollywood Bowl show?
It's August 12th, Hollywood Bowl. And the tickets go on sale, I think, at the beginning of May.
All right, August 12th. I'm writing it down. May, because I want to be there. So I'm going to put that day to the side. I'll see you guys there. All my listeners, you guys better go. Wear your Carla Morrison shirts and freaking everything. Let's invite la tía, el tío, the cousin. Tráiganselos a todos. Please.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes. It's such a huge place. Help me.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
All right. And so before we go, you guys, I have a motivational quote for you guys. And the motivational quote is, your mind will believe everything you tell it. Feed it faith, feed it truth, feed it love. Carla, again, gracias. I will see you soon. And everyone, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I am so happy. I feel so content right now. So, te mando un besote.
Bye. Thank you, you too. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys. Besitos a todos. Do you need advice on love, relationships, health, y más? I'm so excited to share with you that my Chiquis and Chill podcast will have an extra episode drop each week. I'll be answering all your questions. Just leave me a voice message con todas tus preguntas y yo te las voy a contestar personalmente. All you have to do is go to speakpipe.com/Chiquis and Chill podcast and record your questions. I can't wait to hear from you. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and check us out on YouTube.